of Hillel at Stockton here, and I'm also the president of the Campus Religious Council, so I do a lot of, like religious work, interfaith work. For those of you that don't know, interfaith work is the coming together of different religions for the common purpose of coexisting. So, all of those coexist. Shirts that you see people wearing, they are true in some instances. So, if you hear my stomach growl, it is not because, I'm Jewish and I'm hungry for money and stuff like that. I just haven't eaten in a while. So I just wanted to make that quite obvious. So I've never had someone blatantly come up to me and throw money at me or, just to my face do something. What actually happened was, to start off with something more personal and then just kind of go into facts a little bit later on, is I was the only Jewish student in a school from pre-K to 8, which is kind of impactful in its own. I come from a very small town of Gibbsboro, which is right by Cherry Hill, so you would have thought, living right near Voorhees, Cherry Hill, if you do not know those areas, there are Jews. You might not, but there were none in Gibbsboro, because there's only like 2,000 of us all together, but for some reason they decided we needed our own school, which was pretty great. So, just really quickly, I know for some people out there, one of the things that I noticed when I was a child first is holiday break, because it is not holiday break. It is absolutely not, because every so often, every few years, Hanukkah does occasionally fall around the time of Christmas, which is great, because then it is an actual holiday break. But most of the time, it does not. So, last year, actually, everybody here at Stockton, they call it holiday break. It's really not. It's Christmas and New Year's break. And I absolutely know that, I'm not blind. But it's kind of nice how people try to be inclusive about it, but it's also just very obvious that, I, as a Jewish student, I have to drive home that hour to go see my family on the first night of Hanukkah, and then be all disappointed that I can't drive back and forth for 8 nights. But that's a lot of mileage, and my mom does not pay for my gas. So that's a lot that I have to do on my own. But I went to Eastern High School, and all of the Jews from Voorhees came in, and so I was just like, yes. But even that time, I moved. So I actually only went to Gibbsboro from 2nd grade. That whole entire time there, I never became woke, as you would say. I never had this realization of, I need to stand up for myself. I need to really show people that, I matter, whether, I'm Christian or not, or something else. I never really had one of those woke moments in my life, and then I went to high school and there was other Jewish people, but I just kind of hid in the back. I was just subtly bullied for so long because of being Jewish and just some other things that, I just really tried to blend in, even though it didn't really work. I'm very, very loud, so I got picked on a lot for that still in high school, so my blending in thing did not work, as you may be able to tell. But, I came here to Stockton, and I really found myself in my Jewish identity, and, I'm proud more than ever to be a part of the community that I'm a part of. But it's actually really interesting, because I was raised conservative, for those of you that don't know. I guess in the simplest of terms, I could lay it out as Hasidic, and then Orthodox, conservative, Reform, and then the more you go down the lane, the more liberal you are with your views in Judaism. And so I was raised conservative, and I was bullied. Again, I have no idea, but I'm pretty amazing. I have no idea why. But I was picked on at my synagogue in the class. There was only 5 of us. I'm just very used to a small classroom. That's why I picked Stockton. But I was picked on, and so I said, Mom, I really cannot continue here. I also was not keeping up with the learnings of the blessings and everything because of my learning disabilities. And so we actually went from a conservative synagogue to a Reform synagogue because it was closer to where I was living. Some of the people from Eastern did, in fact, go to the congregation that I went to. But even from the conservative standpoint, people look at you, like Jewish people, and they will look at you and they will say, oh, you're not really Jewish, because like you're not, you're not Orthodox, you don't follow every single law and every single rule to a T. And so I did find myself in that dilemma of I don't belong here, but I also don't belong here. So it was just a very interesting place for me at that time. Before I came here to Stockton, before I got so involved in the whole religious atmosphere and in Hillel. And so, I found my calling in interfaith, and, it actually had nothing to do, like I didn't have an epiphany one day or something, but, something had happened to a close friend of mine, and I said, this is something that I want to deal with for the rest of my life. And help others in the type of situations that my friend had dealt with. As a Muslim woman. And so the thing that I've realized in the past few days, I don't know if any of you have, let's not even say turn down the news, if you just go on Facebook, if you even have one friend on Facebook, you've probably seen all the things happening to the Jewish cemeteries, all the things happening to the JCCs, the Jewish community centers, for those of you that don't know. And I've sort of realized that for me, interfaith was a way to avoid the issues that was happening in my own community, in my own Jewish community, because with Trump getting elected and all of these other things happening to those of my friends that were Muslim, and I just always had that ability to go help others. I did not have to focus on what was happening in my own community. And I did not have to face the reality of, for those of you that don't know the history of Jewish people, we got picked on, we fought, we won, and then we ate. That's basically it. So, for once, I didn't have to focus on that. I was able to focus on something else. That's why all of our holidays, we eat a lot of food. We're always celebrating, we won something. So if I could just really quickly read to you just some of the things that have happened in the past few days, if that's okay. So, over 80 bomb threats against Jewish community centers have been reported in 30 U.S. states in the past 24 hours alone. At least 21 establishments in 13 states, including 8 schools, were forced to evacuate after receiving bomb threats. This was the 5th wave of bomb threats against Jewish community centers since early January. And then in the past 45 days, there have been 190 incidents. Now this is, reported incidents against Jews and Jewish institutions across the U.S. And so, all of these things just happening with the Jewish cemeteries and with, the Jewish community centers. It really did hit me, and I got very emotional yesterday because of this fact, because I realized, caring about other people doesn't mean that you have to come second. And so that was a really important lesson for me as someone that wants to care about other people and their issues for the rest of my life. And so, it's actually even more interesting because I actually interned at the Cherry Hill JCC, and I'm going to intern again there this summer. That was evacuated yesterday, and our fantastic Hillel advisor also does frequent there because she is on their board. And she also does work at a Jewish community center down here. But I think what's just really important is to always know that no matter what is happening or what is going on, there's always something, there's always someone that's gonna, come after you no matter what. You could be, the person that is the majority on every single thing. They will still find some way, some reason, you will still be a minority in some sense of the way, But I really do just want to thank the Asian Student Alliance for having this event and for letting me speak. And, again, just remind those that have the ability to walk away from a situation, like if something was happening to me, or someone that or just like someone, they have that privilege to walk away, but you don't, or you or that person that you care about, they don't have that privilege to walk away from whatever's happening. And so the final thing that I actually wanted to close on is a very interesting point that I read the other day, and it was a Facebook post, so, take it with a grain of salt. But it was, what if, now, just before, everybody stay in your seats, but what if, through the actions of Donald Trump and everything that is happening right now, America is actually becoming great again? Now, again, that grain of salt comes into play right now, because when you really, really think about it, Betsy DeVos just took the Secretary of Education position. And what is happening? I know in my local community and in communities everywhere, those Board of Education meetings, those town hall meetings, they are filled up with more people, and more parents, more town members are becoming more educated than ever before. Now it is it's not just a crisis of parents. Now it's those that, care about the children that will be our future generation. They're becoming more educated on the issues that are happening right now. The things that have happened with the Jewish cemeteries in the past few days. I can honestly tell you, on some college campuses, in some towns, in some cities, Jews and Muslims would not be as close together as I am right now to Taspi. But I can honestly tell you that I think with both incidents, I think one of them happened in St. Louis and the other one just happened in Philadelphia just the other day, over $100,000 has been raised to repair the broken, the tombstones and the damage that has been caused by, and these were Jewish cemeteries. The people of the Muslim community decided that they wanted to reach out and really help make that, yes, snap. That is amazing. I mean, that is something that, a few years ago would never even be possible. And so I know it's not the way that, he's probably planning, but I think it's actually just the greatest kick in his ass to see that, we are coming together. It's very interesting because, again, I'll say it, Muslims and Jews, this would never be happening, and now I can't even tell you an instance where something has happened to me or something has happened to them and just rush to the other person's side. And I am forever grateful for these moments like this where I can speak and learn from others and, gain this education from other people's personal experiences and be in a room with people that are different from me, but still have them understand that the struggles that I went through are just as important. They may be different, but are just as important as theirs. And so, again, I want to thank you for letting me speak and everything. And so, yes, thank you so much.